So this is a lesson out there. If you're planning to travel internationally, you're planning to travel to a different country, you're going to travel to a country where there's a border patrol, or you have to go through customs and stuff like that. This is a warning for all those people out there. It doesn't happen as much, but then when it happens, you'll end up in jail, you'll end up deported, or you'll end up arrested. And you don't want that to happen. Look at these clothes here. So somebody will give you an item like this. You see they have tags on them. Look at these clothes. But then when you look here, they found this person, like one of the items here had drugs in the middle. And welcome to my YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed to my channel, I highly recommend that you subscribe. But if you've already subscribed to my channel, I just want to say thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my videos. And for all those people who are sharing my channel with your friends and your relatives on your Facebook, on whatever platform, you're helping me grow. So thank you so much for your support. So today I'll be talking about a very important topic. And if you've not watched any of my other videos, this is the video you want to watch, because it might be the difference between losing your livelihood and keeping it. It's as simple as that. So, how many times has somebody ever given to you something like a package and they're like, hey, my friend, I have like, a relative in the United States, I have a relative in Germany, in the UK, can you please take this package to them? Or maybe they're in the US and they're like, can you please take this package to my relative who lives in Kenya, lives in Africa, in whatever country. And you didn't ask any questions. You just took the package and you delivered it to them. That's where the problem is. That's exactly what this video is going to be about. So I'm going to tell you a personal story that really happened to me the first time I came to the United States. So we were at the port of entry, I think it was somewhere in Chicago, I don't remember. So we were like students, a bunch of students in one flight. So, usually in Kenya, when you're going to high school or whatever, like something like that, your parents will buy you toothpaste, they will buy you detergent and stuff like that you go to school with so that you can wash clothes, like when you go to a new area. You just want to have something to start with before you can figure out where the shops are. So we had a student who, when we came to the United States, had toothpaste and all that, soap and everything, detergent. And for some reason, I don't know what happened at the JKIA, but those things got through. But then when we got to the port of entry in Chicago, the customs, they found those things. When they found those things, so they were like, okay, so who are these things belong to? And then they called the student, and they were not alone. They were not traveling alone. We were traveling together, going to the same school. So they called us together, and I'm there wondering why are they calling us? Because it was my first international flight. I didn't know what was going on. So as we were waiting, oh my God, I started seeing the FBI, bomb squad, they have these jackets that are bulletproof, black, they're wearing all black, and they have these FBI things, bomb squad, bomb whatever, and I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And they just keep coming, and we are there, and people are questioning us. So at the beginning, I thought I was in trouble. Why? Because before I came to the United States, when over there, when you're in Africa and you like music, you can go usually you used to go to River Road, and then they had the CDs. So they will burn the CD, and one CD had 150 songs in there. So you just buy one MP3 CD. That was years ago. So kids who are born they don't know what I'm talking about. But then we used to have a CD, you get an MP3, has 150 Backstreet Boys, all those songs in there. So I had those. I had 5 of them. And before I got on the flight, one of my friends told me that, these CDs, when you go to them, they're illegal in America because it shows it's pirated stuff. It's you are stealing other people's music and not paying for it, something like that. But then I'm they don't know what they're talking about. So I put the CDs in my check-in bags. There were 3 of them. So the moment I saw bomb squad, FBI, police, and whatever at the port of entry, I I thought my CDs were in trouble. I knew I was going to jail. I'm like, oh my God, it's the CDs. So when the guy was questioning us, I just went up front. I'm like, you know what? I have some CDs from Kenya. I was talking to this cop. The cop was like, you know what? Oh, that's not the problem. We have a bigger problem. And I'm like, wait a minute, bigger problem? What? You know, the way you're from Africa. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting deported, because everything, like, you know, they scare you back there, like you can be deported for anything. So I'm like, oh, that's not the big problem. So where is the problem here? And then the officer is like, you know, we found some items, and you know, when you come here, like, you know, you're still getting used to the American English and stuff like that. So pretty much, like, after he told me, like, we're in problems with the complicated American English, like, trust me, he spoke for like a whole 30 minutes. I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm like, oh my God, we're in trouble. He opened the carry-on bag. I don't know how these items made on the carry-on bag. So that student had this toothpaste and all that perfume and everything in the carry-on bag, and it made through the checkpoint at JKIA. I don't know how that happened. So they opened it, and there's toothpaste and everything in there. They're like, who does this belong to? And then the guy is like, yeah, they're mine. You know, I'm going to school, and, you know, I need toothbrush and toothpaste and whatever and that. And then so they questioned us, and they just realized, like, you know, these are a bunch of, like, you know, villagers. We don't know what's going on. Like, you know, these are just Washamba from over there. So they figured out we didn't have anything, like, we didn't have bad intentions. So they let us go. Why am I telling you this story? What if that student was carrying drugs? What if that student had something that was banned in the United States? As much as the student would be in trouble, we would have been in trouble as well, because we are traveling together. What am I trying to say? Even if you're coming to the same school, even if you're traveling together, if you're not, like, somebody is your family or whatever, travel independently. You're on the same flight, but then when they say, who is with this one, don't say I'm with them. Because if they're carrying anything illegal, you are gonna be in the hook as well. Okay? It brings you up to the main point. What am I trying to say? If this is your first international flight, when you go outside the country to come here in the US as a DV lottery, make sure don't carry any package from somebody that you don't know who they are. You don't know what's in the package. My African people, usually we're very trusting. We just know, like, you know, if this person knows this person, this is my relative, this is my friend, we're very trusting when it comes to, like, you know, we've lived together as a community. Like, our culture is more of like a social setting where we live as a community. So people are very trusting, especially if you live in a social setup where everybody, you know, lives as a community. But we are trusting way too much. But then, like, as the world is moving forward, things are changing. We are like if you've realized we are losing some of our, like, you know, cultural aspects and stuff like that in regards to trust and people doing stuff they're supposed to. If you're planning to travel internationally, like, you know, when I came to the United States, actually coming to the United States was my first international flight. When I was in Kenya, I was flying like flight 540 at that time, and it was a big deal for me. You know, I thought, like, you know, flying 540, like I was flying, so that was a big thing back then. But then, like, coming to America was my first international flight. And before I took the first international flight, I didn't have anybody to tell me anything. I got a lot of packages for people that I brought to the United States that I didn't even know. They told me, just come, get this package. When you get to the United States, here's the money you'll pay for shipping, and then you know it gets delivered to them. And I did that, but then looking back right now, I'm like, that was very naive of me. Everything could have gone wrong, everything. But I didn't know at that time. That's why, like, you know, I'm doing this video so that I educate people who might run in those situations. When you receive a package from your family, from your friend, from anybody out there, the first thing you want to do, make sure you know these people really well. You know, like, this is my mother, this is my father, this is my brother, sister, my friend. You know them really well, and you know their character, you know their behavior, you know their dealings, you know what they do. Because that's where the trust comes in. Because when they give you, like, if your mother gives you vegetables to take to the United States, that's not a big deal. That's going to be vegetables in there, correct? Because they're your mother, you know, they're not going to do anything to jeopardize your visa or anything. But then if a friend gives you something like a package, or a friend of a friend who's like, okay, you know what, you won the DV lottery, can you please take this package to my friend who lives in the United States? You might want to double check that. Why? Because not everybody has like your best interest at heart. Some people look out for themselves and they don't look out for you. That's why you need to look out for yourself. So if somebody gives you a package to take to the United States, if it's somebody that you don't, is not your family, or it's not somebody that you know really well, make sure the package is packed in the original package. So if it's like, they're giving you tea leaves, like Ketepa tea leaves, they're giving you something like Royco, or they're giving you spices from Africa, make sure it's in the original package and the package is sealed. And it's sealed, there's expiration date, there's everything. Like the package is intact. So that way, you know what you're bringing to the United States. Let nobody give you just a package and you're like, hey, here, take this to the United States. It doesn't work like that. Make sure you know what's in the package. Number two, if they give you the package, see what contents are in there. Because there's some things that are illegal in one country and legal in another country. Like you saw what happened with a basketball player. He had medical marijuana and went to Russia. Russia, you'll be arrested for medical marijuana. In America, it's legal. But you go to Russia, girl, you'll end up in jail. So that's why you need to see what contents are in there and to see what port of entries you'll be going through to see if those items that you're carrying are legal. There's some things like seeds and stuff like that. People get through with them. But when you're caught with them in other countries, they pose a risk. Coming to America was my first international flight. So I know like a lot of people are in the same situation or the same cases. So this is going to be your first international flight. And I just wanted to give you tips when you're coming here, how to stay safe when you're flying internationally. One thing you need to do, like especially in regards with what you're carrying in your package. If somebody gives you an item to bring to somebody in the United States or to bring it to anybody, like you're going to school, they're like, okay, do you mind taking this package and giving it to this person? Number one, make sure that that person, you really trust them. You really know who they are. Because you have to understand, some people, they will give you packages that have items that will land you in jail. If somebody gives you a package and then they're like, you need to take this to the United States, or you need to take this to whatever, Germany, whatever, any country, or literally like if you're flying like internationally, usually they check your package. Sometimes like you get to airports and they'll have like dogs that sniff those packages. So if you have anything like drugs, cocaine, stuff that are in the package, the dog is gonna sniff it out, and then guess who's gonna be in trouble? Not the person who gave you the package, but you who's carrying the package. So if somebody gives you a package, just make sure you double check and know what it is. Especially I would recommend, like if you get a package from somebody, make sure like if it's like items they are bought in a supermarket, they are packaged in the original package that it came with. But if somebody just gives you something random to bring here and you don't know who they are, they're like, oh, my friend of a friend told me that you should help them, you won the DV lottery, you're going to America to take this package there, you might want to double check that, because some people will give you stuff that will land you in jail. So can you imagine if somebody gives you a package and then it's sealed, you don't know what's in there, you put it in your check-in bag and then they call you, they're like, hey, you Nafula blah blah blah, can you come to counter 6? And then you show up because you don't know what's happening, and then you get there and then you realize you had items in there that are drugs. So you have to make sure like you double check whatever everybody's giving you. So you just need to stay safe out there. Like not everybody's looking out for you, so you have to look out for yourself. Make sure like those packages that they're giving you, that you double check and know what's in it or what's in them before you bring a package to somebody in the United States. And also like when you're at the airport, just safety, they tell everybody, do not leave your luggage unattended. So make sure like your carry-on, like you're checking it, you have it at all times, because somebody can put drugs in there. Somebody who's on the same flight as you can put some drugs in there, and then you get in trouble for the drugs. And if you don't get in trouble, like you get through, they'll be like, hey, I think I put something in your bag, and then they will take them back. So just make sure like you're staying safe out there. And then also when you go, like, travel internationally, you're gonna meet a lot of people on the flights. People will try to talk to you. You can talk, be friendly, but then if they give you any packages, they're like, can you hold this package for me, I'll come get it. Or can you hold this package, I'm going to the toilet, I'll be back. Can you hold this packages, I have to go buy something, I'll be back. Do not accept the package. Even if they're holding a baby and you think they're very smart, they will be holding like 2 babies and they're like, can you carry this bag for me? Because now that you think like, oh, they have 2 babies, let me help them with the bag. You're like, no, I'll carry your baby, So just make sure, like, you're staying safe in regards to packages. Don't just take any packages from anybody, either from home, either when you're in transit. Do not take any packages. And people now, like, they make like clothes, they make like shoes. I'll have pictures of those. They have like shoes and they will put like cocaine in the middle or some drugs in the middle. Or they'll have like, even slippers. They sew like, you think it's sewn, but then in the middle, there's drugs. So you just have to look out for yourself. It doesn't happen as often. The percentage is really, really low for it occurring. But then what I'm just saying is, if the percentage is 0.0001%, if you're caught with those drugs, the statistics won't matter because you'll be in trouble. They won't be like you're 0.0001. You will be in trouble. So when you're caught with the drugs, the statistics don't apply. So just make sure, like, before you bring something to somebody in the United States, you double check and make sure, like, what's in the package. To review what I've been explaining in the videos, like when you look at this picture here, look at these clothes here. So somebody will give you an item like this. You see they have tags on them. Look at these clothes. But then when you look here, they found this person, like one of the items here had drugs in the middle. That's what I was talking about. Like, somebody gives you an outfit that you think like, what, this is a good outfit. I'm going to take it to somebody who's somewhere. And then you get caught with it. This is jail. If you're in China, then you might be even sentenced to like death or something like that. Next, this is not a very good image, but then I think you can see what I'm talking about. Like, this is a slipper. And then like when you see this ones here, the white patches right here, all this around, those are drugs. So the pills. So somebody like literally put the pills in this sandal and then they cover it with something on top. So when somebody's wearing it or somebody's carrying it in the bag or they give it to you, you think like it's a normal shoe. But then when you look at it, it's all lined with drugs. Look at this next one. This is as a sole. So this is the shoe upside down and this is the sole. So you see like in the middle, look at this. Look at this. So it's a shoe. Somebody gives you a shoe. They're like, can you take this shoe to whatever, Germany, for my family who's there? And then the shoe has these drugs in the middle. So that's why you need to keep an eye. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it happens, it's really bad. Look at this other one. So this one is just like it's a regular shoe, but then look at the sole in here. It has like some stuff. And then the last one, like you can just see like this sole has like some stuff in it, It's a shoe. So what I'm trying to say is if somebody gives you an item to take to the United States, you have to be careful. Make sure it's a trusted individual. Make sure you know what's in the items. If it's possible, let it be in the original packaging, or alternatively, you have to watch them as they pack. And then also double check, just check, like, if it's a shoe, just check, make sure the soles are okay, so that you don't get in trouble on behalf of somebody else, because people are using this. They go, they give you items. If you deliver, they get paid a lot of money, but in the real sense, like, you risk your life with your livelihood and everything that you're working hard for somebody who's not even worth it. So just make sure if you get items, you get anything that you're given to you by somebody to take somewhere else, you double check to make sure that is genuine. It doesn't have anything weird, because people out there, they do weird stuff. It's not very common to happen in Africa, usually in other countries, but you know what, like, you never know who you're gonna run into. So just make sure, like, whatever somebody, or whenever somebody gives you something, you double check to make sure what it is. And also, like I said, in the airport, if you get somebody's like, can you hold this coat, it's my baby's coat,
Can you hold this clothing? For me, I'm going to run to the bathroom. Do not do that. Just make sure you're not carrying anything that's not yours, anything that you're given by somebody. Do not do it. So that is my lesson for today. Thanks for watching.